It's hard to believe this story. We have on the phone right now a member of Notre Dame's class of 1936. That's right, 1936. He's 101 years young, and he's made time in his busy schedule to be with us from Sarasota, Florida, to be with us for Notre Dame Day. His name is Joe Newman. Now, you might not expect someone Joe's age to have as busy a schedule as he does, but he does have a busy schedule because he's running for Congress. That's of the United States, not of Florida. So, Joe, welcome to Notre Dame Day.
Well, thank you for having me.
Joe, you grew up in Mishawaka, and
Yes.
as a boy, you'd come to campus and watch Newt Rockne's football practices. Tell us what that was like.
Well, all those kids would, all of us, 10 or 15 kids would hitchhike out there or hop a ride on the streetcar and the tail end of it and ride out there and watch practice. And then sneak into the game on Saturday.
That sounds great. I understand you get around pretty well. You still drive your own car.
I still drive my own car.
That's
right.
great.
Well, isn't a Notre Dame man supposed to? What the hell?
Joe, you've got a great background of your life. At one time, your parents were exiled to Siberia by the Tsar, and your family eventually made it to America.
That is correct. As my father, fortunately enough, my father was released to go fight the Japanese, and by the time they got him to Vladivostok, the war was over. So he was released.
Joe, even though you were raised Jewish, you attended Notre Dame as a commuter in the 1930s to study accounting. And there's some great pictures, Jeff, by the way, of the trolley that used to run up and down Notre Dame Avenue. What was Notre Dame like in those days?
Well, it was a nice little community, actually. Everybody was, it was 2,700 students, as I recall, and everybody was friendly. I don't think they can take any action against me, but I used to carry my own food, and every once in a while somebody eating in the dining hall would bring me a chicken leg or something.
I think the statute of limitations,
so I was
Joe,
eating
is
somewhat off of Notre Dame during the time. But I was very fortunate. They gave me jobs all the way through. My whole college career out there cost me a total of about $250.
That's worth about a week or a month these days.
That is correct. Yeah. So, and that's one of the reasons why I'm running for Congress, because it's pretty difficult for kids to go to college now.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, Joe, I spent a lot of time down in Sarasota, and I'd like you to be my congressman. When was the last time you've been back to campus, Joe?
I think it's about 3 years ago, because of the campus. We had dinner out there, and it's beautiful. You can brag about the campus. But I thought it was pretty nice when we were there. We had the lake, and if you want an old story, we used to go to the lake and go swimming, and some of the priests would be throwing bread out in the water so that the fish biting at the bread would catch the hair on our legs, and they thought they were having a lot of fun.
Joe, you made a big impact and left a lasting legacy for the South Bend community when you were here. You founded Logan Center in 1950. Jeez. Tell us about that.
Well, Sophie, my wife, we had a retarded child. I'm sorry, I use the word retarded, a mentally disabled child. She was injured in the birthing process, and after she was about 5 or 6 years old, and we could find nothing available to help us or to help her, and my wife decided that there ought to be others with similar problems. She went out and found 3 other women, and they formed a group, and they enlisted me, made me president, and sent me out to try to educate the rest of the community on the needs for having classes and all those things available for kids who happen to be injured at birth or born mentally handicapped.
Hey, Joe, go ahead.
And in order to get some attention, we figured that the best thing to do was to start a school of our own, which we did. And if you've read this story, we had about $24 in the treasury, and there were about 10 or 12 of us, and we hired a teacher, and contracted to pay her $2,400, and we started our school. And within months, the community just fell in line and thought it was a great idea and has supported it ever since.
All right.
So we owe a lot to the community, and we owe a lot to Notre Dame because the student body out there has helped a great deal.
Well, Notre Dame still and the student body works so closely with Logan Center. I mean, it's a really one-on-one relationship. Hey, Joe, tell me, why are you running for Congress?
Well, I'm running for Congress because I'm a bit unhappy with the situation as it is. You know, and this may be part of my Notre Dame legacy, the desire to create a more civil society and to oppose the us being just an assemblage of individuals concerned with our own self and our own gratifications. And I seem to see a trend in people beginning to believe that way, and I don't think it's right. And there's another line which may associate it with Notre Dame. Rockne used to come to the high schools about every year and talk. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I'll always remember him saying is that when they would ask him why little Notre Dame was playing big teams, he would say, if you can't play them, you can't beat them. And so I figured that if I don't like what's going on, the only way we can change it is to get out there and begin the battle.
What a great philosophy.
All right. When's the primary down there, Joe?
Primary is not until August.
All right. Very good. Well, everybody in Florida in the Sarasota area, remember, vote early, vote often for Joe Newman. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Good. God bless you, Joe.
Now let's go to our Notre Dame reporter, Mark Newman, who's with a bunch of people. We're in